Andy Card comes up behind me and says, America's under attack. And I'm watching the child read.
美国911恐攻全新纪录片曝光美国前总统小布希接获消息时的震撼过程。911前夕，美国特勤局加码公布当天从未曝光的照片。一名医生在世贸大楼倒塌后，周遭满布烟尘，必须拿衣物遮挡。另一张照片则是袭击后，特勤局车辆周围满布废墟残骸。当时白宫探员被告知有飞机飞来，呼吁身边只要看到人就赶紧把他们带出去。只是随着20年过去，这场恐攻审判竟然还没落幕。
5 of the alleged planners of the attacks have appeared in court for the first time in 18 months. The court appearance underscoring that 20 years after the attacks, this trial is still not over.
审判过程，记者要隔在厚厚的玻璃后方观看，还有40秒的延迟，以防机密资料外泄。另外，巴黎恐攻的世纪审判也在法国开审。当时嫌犯对法兰西体育场、酒吧、餐厅和巴塔克兰剧院展开炸弹袭击，造成130人遇害。据报道，光是调查的文件就厚达10几层楼高。
Honnêtement, soulagé que le procès s'ouvre enfin. Enfin, c'est ouvert un peu tard entre guillemets, mais bon, je pense que c'est les procédures de la justice.
预计这场世纪审判将会进行9个月，明年5月底才会宣判。而唯一存活的凶嫌阿布戴斯兰将面临无期徒刑。TVBS 新闻综合报道。
2001年9月11号，信奉伊斯兰极端主义的基地组织劫机对纽约世贸大楼发动自杀式攻击，将世贸大楼夷为平地的911恐攻即将届满20年。Oh my God! And there were 30 people in the northeast corner. Get everybody out! 911攻击夺走近3000条生命，这起史上最恶的恐攻事件，20年来不断唤起美国人心中的痛。
What came down? What came down? The crash. The other trade center's down. It's down. Be all right. Let's go.
Lord Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, we'll get him out. Everybody, calm down. Walk north.
当时纽约街头烟雾弥漫，民众惊慌逃命，大逃难景象犹如人间炼狱。恐攻当下，时任总统的小布希仍正在佛州一所小学出席活动。当时的白宫幕僚长卡德冲到总统身边耳语，报告有大事发生。小布希在小朋友面前努力保持镇定。卡德回忆911当天上午9点05分，他向小布希报告第2架飞机撞上大楼，美国遭受攻击。接着小布希发表简短谈话，之后世贸中心南塔倒塌，联航93客机被劫机，世贸北塔也跟着倒了。晚间8点30分，小布希回到白宫发表全媒演说。前白宫幕僚长说，20年了，他仍记得911当天每一分钟发生的事。
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. From this day forward, any nation that continues to harbor or support terrorism will be regarded by the United States as a hostile regime.
小布希向恐怖主义宣战，表示会让策划911的基地组织首脑宾拉登付出代价。
It's actually the day that took everything away. You know, he was the first man I ever loved. He was my hero.
But every year it's a gut punch. There's no question. It's, we'll live with the scars the rest of our lives.
Out of all those guys I was surrounded by when the second plane hit the South Tower, I'm the only one that lived. They all died.
911后，小布希立法成立美国运输安全管理局，加强登机前行李随身物品的安检，也增加班机内备用警力，旅客隐私在恐攻威胁下只能被迫牺牲。
Tonight, authorities are tracking the activity of foreign terrorists as the U.S. is just days away from marking 20 years since the September 11th attacks on this country. Let's bring in
美国国土安全局和 FBI 警告，恐怖攻击在最近可能卷土重来，极端组织威胁不断，更让911梦夜成为美国人心中永远挥之不去的阴霾。TVBS 新闻综合报道。
白色建筑物外观，这是美国中央情报局 CIA 的博物馆，开设以来不对外开放参观，但近期为了庆祝成立75周年，博物馆大翻新，内部状况也在镜头前曝光。其中这个最新的模型是盖达组织首脑扎瓦希里位于喀布尔的藏身处，用在今年7月1号情报特工向美国总统拜登做简报，最后军方发射飞弹击毙当时站在阳台上的扎瓦希里。另外还有这面纪念墙，在 CIA 总部大厅内用来向殉职人员致敬，而博物馆里还存放当年美军击毙盖达组织前首脑宾拉登时，在他身边发现的步枪和球鞋等物品，也有伊拉克独裁总统海珊被美军捕获时身上所穿的皮夹克。在博物馆外头还有 CIA 改装的俄国制重型直升机，以及当年用来避开苏联防空系统的 A-12侦察机，还有2001年遭遇911恐怖攻击后从世贸中心回收的钢柱。博物馆位于美国维吉尼亚州的 CIA 总部，馆内典藏文物多达600件，过去只开放给工作人员以及官方的访客参观。这座被称为是你永远不会看到的最伟大的博物馆，如今在世人眼前曝光，但也绝对只是机密当中的9牛1毛。TVBS 新闻综合报道。
明天是911，如果大家有印象的话，在20年前的911事件震撼全球，而且当时全世界也都看到了这个全世界的超级大城纽约，它其实是极其脆弱的。但是如果我们来盘点这20年来的话，纽约是不断成为极端组织的目标，承受各种孤狼式的袭击。去年也因为新冠肺炎的疫情，总共造成了3万人死亡。再加上，其实现在对纽约来说，也是一个非常重要的难关，就是他们遭到了爱达飓风的袭击。而现在纽约能不能再次浴火重生，各界都非常期待。
一场滂沱大雨驱散了纽约时报广场的人潮。当时谁也没想到，这场由爱达飓风带来的雨势，会让纽约市机场、地铁全都陷入瘫痪。
The roads everywhere I saw coming out of the airport and beyond flooded. Dozens and dozens and dozens of cars marooned, stranded.
100年历史的老旧基础建设根本挡不住超级暴雨的考验，看起来像是末日降临的场景，就这样在世界级的大城市上演。
It's just ridiculous. Mass transit, I don't know what's wrong. They need to get things together. They're taking our money and still the service is doing. It's not getting any better. It's getting worse.
打破纪录的雨势冲刷出纽约的脆弱，对这个300多年历史的城市来说，20年前这场震撼全球的攻击，才是第一次让外界发现，世界顶尖的纽约大城，也可能因为2架飞机，瞬间陷入无止境的黑暗。
Everybody calm down. Walk north.
Go, go, go! 一场911恐怖攻击成为纽约客最深的伤痛，就连没有亲身经历这场人祸的新世代都能感同身受。
It sucks. Like everyone lost something that day, whether it's just a house or a family member. It hurts to see that.
今年20周年纪念，总统拜登将前往纽约、宾州还有五角大厦3个当年遭到攻击的地点致哀。在罹难者家属的压力之下，拜登还签署行政命令，要求司法部还有相关机构公布有关911恐怖攻击的调查文件。
They include a range of things the FBI uncovered in its investigation behind who is responsible for the attacks, everything from phone records to interview notes. And as you mentioned, Eamon, they believe that in these documents could be evidence that Saudi government officials were involved.
911攻击之后，纽约成为反恐重镇，基地组织成为美国人的心头刺。
After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body.
2011年的暗杀行动帮纽约人出了一口气，时报广场涌入欢庆人潮。但基地组织并没有随着宾拉登的丧命而溃败，尤其 ISIS 的兴起更让纽约成了惊弓之鸟。 这个城市依旧是伊斯兰激进组织的目标。光是2017年的一次孤狼式袭击，就造成8人丧命。
This was an act of terror, and a particularly cowardly act of terror.
但这些恐攻阴霾都没有比无声的病毒来袭更重创纽约。尽管霓虹灯一样闪烁，但时报广场却看不到往日摩肩擦踵的模样。纽约甚至一度有如人间炼狱。
Hell, biblical. I kid you not. People come in, they get intubated, they die, the cycle repeats.
新冠疫情已经造成纽约将近34000人丧命，是911恐怖攻击的12倍。直到现在，这座大城市还在跟病毒搏斗。曾经从恐攻的灰烬当中重生，20年来，纽约经历更多比攻击更严峻的挑战，又再次站稳脚步。这颗大苹果并不如想象这么光鲜亮丽，但也在世人面前展现只属于这片土地的独特韧性。TVBS 新闻综合报道。
2001年，美国发动了阿富汗战争，这个并不让大家意外。但是2003年又发动了伊拉克战争之后，介入了叙利亚战争之后，介入了利比亚战争。美国的布朗大学于是进行了一项调查，这个调查叫做“战争的代价”。他们统计了各种不同的资料，集结了50位学者、法律专家。各种不同领域里头的人士来了解这个战争是怎么形成的，美国为什么会进行一连串的战争。在这里头，他谈到了人员的代价，待会儿你会看到经济的代价。过去我们说，美国在阿富汗战争里头支出2兆，按照他们的算法，从阿富汗、伊拉克、巴基斯坦等地这场战争支出其实是高达8兆，因为里头还包括了从当地退伍的军人以及伤患的一些军人对他们的身心照顾等等，到2050年估计高达2.2到2.5兆元左右。而政治社会代价等等，包括了美国其实在当地树立的更多的敌人，更高的恐怖攻击的可能性。战争没有瓦解他的敌人，是壮大了他的敌人，留下了更多的仇恨。另外呢，他们还发现整个事情里头，阿富汗战争里头所支出的报告里头，总共有将近1/3到1/2进入了军事承包商，这成为重点。军事承包商的口袋里头，其中有5家，这5家布朗大学点名是 Lockheed Martin， 就大家不会吃惊，波音公司不会吃惊，通用动力公司、雷神公司、诺斯罗普格鲁曼公司，而其中呢，每一家军事合同可以得到承包商的公司，他们所得到的钱超过了美国国务院的预算。这20年里头，这些军火商5大军火商花了将近25亿美元来游说美国的国会，每一年雇佣700多名的游说者，1名国会议员至少有一个游说者伺候他。这就是美国战争背后另外一个故事。
The idea that U.S. military leadership provides an indispensable stability to the globe is now a fixture of our global strategy and our foreign policy.
In an uncertain world, full of breathtaking change, the one constant is American leadership.
You can't have stability without American leadership. There's only one nation in the world capable of rallying the freedom-loving people of this planet to confront evil.
American leadership is not just respected, it is required.
正因自认是地表上最伟大的国家，在美国本土的911攻击更让美国人错愕和愤怒。攻击者长驱直入，撼动美国地位。历届领导人打着反恐名义，放任刑求、黑劳，牺牲平民性命，全都违背美国高创的民主价值。捍卫美国人安全，意味国际法规不适用于美国，保障美国领导地位，借由威胁、制裁和战争展示美国力量。
After 10 years of war, it really is imperative that we understand how much the American people and the people of Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan have been paying for these wars, and the cost is staggering. Their present costs, their future costs, their human costs and their financial costs, their social costs.
We have borrowed virtually all of the money
that has been used to pay for the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts. And that has been very expensive, adding at least $1.5 trillion to our national debt.
Millions of people have been displaced, and many more have suffered and died because of lack of access to clean drinking water, because they're malnourished, because they can't get to healthcare facilities.
2001年，美国在阿富汗打开战争大门。2003年另辟伊拉克战场，还把反恐战线拉到索马利亚、利比亚、叙利亚和也门。从回应911事件开始的种种错误决定，混合了复仇、帝国野心、战争利益、系统性洗脑，还有贪婪和愚昧，证明了没有所谓伸张正义的战争，只有赚取利益的战争。
When the battles have been fought, what kinds of destruction is left behind, what refugee flows, what destruction of housing, what kinds of new family structures get set up when women are widowed, and what kinds of challenges, poverty often ensue for families. And to take responsibility for that, to say this is what that choice to go to war resulted in. It resulted in these costs. Wars, in a sense, are never over when they're over. They go on for decades, and some of the peak costs for this war will be incurred 40 years from now as veterans age into some of the most difficult years for dealing with their disability and injuries from the war.
美国布朗大学2010年发起战争的代价计划，从战争金钱流向、公共健康和政治版图改变，探讨战争的意义，调查美国在911之后的海外战事中未被公开或承认的战争成本，像是在阿富汗、巴基斯坦、伊拉克、叙利亚和也门等地直接在冲突中身亡的超过92.9万人，流离失所的约3800万人。美国2001到2022财政年度估计战争支出达8兆美元。
The U.S. has around 800 military bases around the globe. This map can't even show that many dots. These are just 200 or so dots to give you an idea of where these bases are clustered. These bases are everything from massive military compounds to small airstrips in the middle of the ocean. And it's not cheap. Keeping U.S. foreign bases open costs taxpayers between $70 and $100 billion per year.
美国巩固全球军事影响力，但是维持海外基地运作的基本开销已够可观。911后，国家钱包更是大开，国防支出从2001到2010年增加超过30%。美国诉诸战争，宣扬霸主地位。前波音副总裁就曾说，不支持国防预算的议员，下次选举就要准备换工作。政府养大战争机器，让中东更动荡，美国更分裂。
America's defense budget is out of control, lacking strategic coherence, utterly mismanaged, ruinously wasteful, and yet eternally expanding.
前美国空军飞行员对五角大厦这么评论：谁说国防部没有战略？他们的战略就是不要中断前朝，而且还要加码。布朗大学近日发布的论文探讨战争受益者，讲白了就是靠战争致富的人，揭示五角大厦在911后加大依赖承包商，在阿富汗战争花费超过14兆美元，其中1/3到一半进入承包商的口袋，促使机会主义者把国库当提款机。
Private military companies have played an increasing role in global conflicts. For the soldier with no flag, modern warfare is a lucrative trade. But some of these companies have committed atrocities and other human rights abuses. And when things get messy, countries can blame contractors or deny their involvement. By the 1990s, governments had come to view PMCs as a key foreign policy tool, a way to bypass international laws to exert influence abroad. By using a PMC, the U.S. was able to avoid a UN embargo on countries providing military support to the warring sides.
布朗大学的调查中指出，提供后勤支援和基地建造工程的承包商偷工减料、低价高报，向政府抽收款项，数家公司已被起诉，部分和解赔偿。国防部还委托私人军事公司保护重要设施和进行军事训练，但缺乏监督且不透明，造就无法无天的黑水公司。
The 2007 Nisour Square massacre shone a light on the actions of these shadowy groups.
17 people died here in September 2007 when contractors from U.S. security firm Blackwater unleashed a bloodbath.
A 9-year-old boy was one of the 17 victims shot dead by Blackwater officers.
政府官员、国会和承包商间的旋转门人事交易也壮大战争机器。提出将后勤工作委托承包商的美国前副总统钱尼就曾任国防部承包商公司的执行长。除此之外，2008到2018年间，有380名高阶军官转任政府说客或国防承包商等，都有利益冲突问题。
Private military contracts allowed the government to avoid congressional limits on troop numbers and reduce the official death toll, as their fatalities are not included in government figures. This means the public is often not aware of the true financial and human cost of war. Since 2001, 1,000 more contractors have died in Iraq and Afghanistan than U.S. troops.
至于美国战争机器最大受益者就是军火商洛克希德马丁、波音、通用电力、雷神和诺格这5家公司，近年占了五角大厦25%到33%的合约。五角大厦坚持让阿富汗空军配备只有美国承包商懂得维修的黑鹰直升机，这已不光是利益问题，也将士兵置于危险中。
The Black Hawk, one of 2 on the mission, went down in the rugged terrain around 10:30 this morning, landing in flames and badly mangled. As soon as it was down, enemy forces headed for the crash site.
纵使美国结束阿富汗战争，夸大中国军事威胁也成维持国防部高预算的理由。而且美国目前还在超过85个国家进行反恐行动，包括训练当地军事人员、举行军演、发动无人机攻击和直接参与作战行动，都可让承包商获利。庞大的战争机器还将继续运作。
Patricia Cushing.
A wonderful son, brother, father, and superior pilot, my cousin, Captain Jason M. Dahl.
Joseph DeLuca. Patrick Joseph Driscoll. Edward Porter Felt. Jane C. Folger. Colleen L. Fraser. Andrew Sonny Garcia. Jeremy Logan Gilk. Kristen Osterholm White Gould.
Lauren Catuzzi Grandcolas and unborn child.
My sister, Wanda Anita Green.
Donald Freeman Green. Linda Grunland. Richard J. Wadagno.
First Officer Leroy Wilton Homer.
My son, Toshia Kuge.
Cece Ross Lyles. Hilda Marson. Waleska Martinez. Nicole Carol Miller. Louis Joey Nackey II. Donald Arthur Peterson. Jean Hoadley Peterson. Mark David Rothenberg. Christine Ann Snyder. John Talagnani. Honor Elizabeth Wenino. Deborah Jacobs Welch.
Thank you, Chet, Scott, Michael, and family members for that beautiful tribute to our 40 heroes. At this time, let us join together in spirit for a moment of remembrance and solitude by offering an interfaith prayer of resiliency, healing, and peace. Leading our invocation will be Reverend Robert J. Way. Pastor Bob, as he is better known, was a new pastor at the Good Shepherd Lutheran Cooperative in Shanksville, Pennsylvania on September 11, 2001. He provided comfort and counsel to local community members and went on to serve as a volunteer ambassador here at the memorial and on the task force that helped develop this beautiful landscape you see here today. Reverend?
Good morning. Please join me in a moment of silence to honor the heroes of Flight 93 as a group, as we have just lifted them up individually. Thank you. Approximately 23 years ago, a collaborative group of stakeholders, including local community members, first responders, government officials, and representatives from the Flight 93 families, gathered to discuss erecting a memorial to honor the 40 individuals who heroically fought against terrorists to prevent further loss of life. Our deliberations centered on creating a lasting tribute that would honor both their immediate sacrifice and as an enduring legacy of these courageous individuals. We extend our gratitude to Paul Murdoch for bringing our vision and our mission to fruition. What was once a common field is now a field of honor. It is our privilege to continue moving forward to preserve and nurture this hallowed place, hallowed not by us, but by the lives of your loved ones. When Adam Schaefer invited me to return and speak, I earnestly accepted the opportunity to continue in that mission and to further establish the vision of this field as a place of healing. Looking back, we might think that the healing began with the excavation and the repair of the land at the crash site. But even that beginning had a deeper intent, that what we would ultimately accomplish would be to transform minds and to mend, to heal broken hearts and broken spirits. You see, from the memorial grove of trees with its sense of a diverse unity to the diverse species of wildflowers that grow and change from spring to fall in the fields behind us, from the small but noticeable changes to the landscape here, which we refer to as the bowl, which I've always envisioned as hands cupped to embrace all who enter, to this memorial wall with its design, signifying again the connectedness of individuals. The wall continues to bring many people together as a family. The vision is one of bringing us face to face with the acknowledgement that life, true life, is experienced in this place. So I ask you to join with me in a moment of silence, a moment of reflection. Holy God, we ask that you would be with us. We invoke your presence upon us. Each and every time we gather wishing to learn more about ourselves. Comfort us as we espouse the ideal that hope lives within each of us. Be with our families as they continue to mourn even after many years, because loss is always loss. The wall that continues to bring us together is separated by little gaps between each of the names. It's designed that way by Paul to remind us that these are individuals, but the wall as a whole represents the unity of their decision. So, Holy One, we seek your guidance. We seek inspiration knowledge, and hope. We seek your guidance as we persist in our efforts to affirm that life always triumphs, that life continues even amid heinous terrorist acts. And we humbly gather here with the hope that our lives may change as well. Small changes, but changes nonetheless. Be with us then as we continue throughout this day, throughout this ceremony. Comfort us and confront us. The philosopher John Stuart Mill once said, I won't quote, I don't know his exact words, but it went something on this order. Evil needs nothing more to succeed than this: that good people would look on and do nothing. Indeed, it would be difficult to call that person good who fails to, at that very least, protest when evil is witnessed. So, Holy One, comfort and confront us. Provoke us to action when we see the wrong. Thank you all.
Thank you, Reverend Way. It was absolutely beautiful. The 40 brave men and women aboard Flight 93 were among other heroes to emerge on that tragic day. One does not have to look far to inspiring stories of tremendous strength and resiliency in the face of terror. Future generations learning about the events of September 11th can find countless examples here at Flight 93 National Memorial, in New York, and at the Pentagon of ordinary people who willingly risked their own lives in an effort to help and save others. Their actions on that morning and the days that followed represent the very best of humanity, and we are forever grateful for their acts of courage. We remember them and the 2,977 individuals whose lives were lost at the World Trade Center and at the Pentagon that day. The men and women at Flight 93 National Memorial are honored to work side by side with many individuals and groups to ensure that they are never forgotten. I wish to highlight several of those neighboring organizations this morning. Patriot Park honors the 7,072 American service members who gave their lives in the global war on terror. While the Remember Me Rose Garden, a beautiful living tribute to the passengers and crew members of Flight 93, furthers our collective efforts to honor the 40 heroes. A visit to these sites provides additional opportunities for visitors to Flight 93 National Memorial to pay tribute to America's heroes. And finally, the September 11th National Memorial Trail. Founded by David Brickley, who is joining us this morning, this trail, ladies and gentlemen, this trail brings walkers, runners, and cyclists to this site as part of a 1,500-mile system which connects the three 9/11 attack sites. We thank David and all of our partners for their efforts in developing new ways to pay tribute to those lost in the terrorist attacks of September 11th. We thank these proud and patriotic organizations and local businesses who go above and beyond year-round at the memorial. Individuals like local business owner Danny Dively have exhibited tremendous pride and craftsmanship across the memorial and are greatly appreciated by staff, volunteers, and visitors. Danny and his wife Annie are joining us this morning for this very special ceremony, and for that, we are grateful. The dedicated work of so many ensures that the legacy of September 11th is carried on to the next generation forever. This includes the essential support of countless external partners such as the Pennsylvania State Police and other law enforcement agencies, the Somerset County Emergency Management Agency, state and local emergency medical services, the American Red Cross, the Salvation Army, and the National Weather Service, just to name a few. Every day, ladies and gentlemen, they work hand in hand with the National Park Service every year to conduct this beautiful memorial observance. We are continuously grateful for the willingness of so many to do all they can to honor and remember the 40 heroes and our nation now and forever. At the conclusion of our observance this morning, I invite the families seated here to the sacred ground for a private wreath-laying ceremony. Members of the Somerset Regional Volunteer Fire Department will open the ceremonial gate and provide a salute for family members as they enter. Members of this department served as some of the first responders to the crash of Flight 93. We thank them for their resolute courage and dedication to others, and we remember the 441 first responders who gave their lives in the effort to save thousands that morning. I further express our appreciation to all members of the first responder community, both here and around the world, for their sacrifice and dedicated service. In times of crisis, our first responders stand side by side with the men and women of our military to protect this great nation and its values. We owe our servicemen and women and their families a debt which can never truly be repaid for the sacrifices they have made to save lives and preserve our freedom. Additionally, and with the utmost of respect, I would like to thank the men and women now serving and who have served in our country's military. Joining us this morning is the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, the Honorable Douglas A. Collins. Thank you, sir, for joining us this morning on this sacred ground. Also, I'd like to welcome and personally thank the sailors and officers joining us today from the USS Somerset, based out of San Diego, California. Named after Somerset County, Pennsylvania, the USS Somerset represents the heroic actions of the 40 passengers and crew members of Flight 93. As this vessel and others like her traverse the world, it carries with it a message of collective sacrifice and courage in response to overwhelming adversity. XO, sir, thank you for being here. As we come together to conclude this beautiful ceremony, let us never forget when the events of September 11th have passed from living memory, it is our hope that this all-inspiring memorial, created through the tireless efforts of so many, will allow future generations to embrace the powerful story of Flight 93. As life continues to grow here in this beautiful field of honor, so does our hope that future generations will learn of the extraordinary actions of 40 ordinary people and be inspired to act with the same unity and courage to face their own challenges today and forever. Thank you.